A very good morning and thanks for tuning into the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Well, Karnataka political crisis continues to be our top focus. It is Chief Minister Yediyurappa's big test in the Supreme Court today. All the details coming up and here are the headlines. Supreme Court to continue hearing Congress-JDS plea against government formation in Karnataka. Court has asked BJP to submit letters given to governors taking claim. Confident B.S. Yediyurappa says he doesn't need 15 days to prove majority. Karnataka fallout in Goa, Manipur and Bihar. Congress and RJD to meet governors and stake claim to form government as single largest party in each state. BJP calls it a stunt. India projected to grow at 7.6% in 2018-19 according to a UN report. Remains the world's fastest growing major economy driven by robust private consumption and supportive fiscal policies. Big relief for patients with heart ailments in the below poverty line. Center to provide free of cost stents used in treatment. And Donald Trump says North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's security would be guaranteed in any denuclearization deal. Says US will go on to the next step if the planned summit in June does not materialize. Our top focus this morning, the Supreme Court will continue hearing of the plea by the Congress-JDS against Yediyurappa's swearing-in Karnataka. The apex court had asked to produce before it the letters given by the BJP to the state governors taking claim. The apex court, during a night-long hearing on Thursday, had refused to stay Yediyurappa's swearing-in. It had, however, made it clear that the swearing-in and the government formation would be subject to the final outcome of the case before it. The bench will also hear a plea filed by senior lawyer Ram Jethmalani, moved on Thursday, challenging Karnataka Governor Vajubhai Vala's decision to invite the BJP. And amid protests by Congress and JDS leaders, B.S. Yediyurappa took oath as the Chief Minister of Karnataka on Thursday. He said that he is 100% confident of proving his majority and that he does not need 15 days to prove it.
After day and night long court drama, BJP leader B.S. Yediyurappa took oath as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. The oath was administered by Governor Vajubhai Vala, who has given Yediyurappa 15 days to prove majority in the State Assembly. After taking oath, Yediyurappa expressed confidence of proving majority and said that the BJP is in touch with like-minded MLAs of the Congress and the JDS.
I regret that the Congress and JDS have formed a unholy alliance after the election, though people have outrightly rejected both these parties. I am sure of winning the vote of confidence and I am going to complete 5 years term.
Several Congress and JDS leaders protested outside the Vidhan Saud in Bengaluru following Yediyurappa's swearing-in. JDS President H.D. Kumaraswamy accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of demolishing democracy in the country. Addressing the public in Raipur, Congress President Rahul Gandhi alleged the constitution was under severe attack.
Constitution पर जबरदस्त आक्रमण हो रहा है। आपने कर्नाटक में देखा, एमएलए एक तरफ खड़े हैं और गवर्नर दूसरी तरफ खड़े हैं। और आप जानते हो कोशिश क्या है?
Narendra Modi's government, they want to demolish the democracy in this country. Narendra Modi's government misusing entire institutions of central government.
Earlier, after hearing arguments for over 3.5 hours post-midnight, the Supreme Court refused to stay Yediyurappa's swearing-in. But the Supreme Court bench clarified that the swearing-in and the government formation would be subject to the final outcome of the case before it.
गवर्नर साहब को डिस्क्रिशन है कि लार्जेस्ट पार्टी को बुलाएं और उन्होंने लार्जेस्ट पार्टी को बुलाया है। लार्जेस्ट पार्टी अगर सरकार बना सकती है तो बनाएगी, नहीं बना सकती तो दूसरी पार्टी को मौका दिया जाएगा।
अदालत समझ गई है कि ये कार्य गलत हुआ है और उनके पास मिनॉरिटी है और वो इस तरह से उनको बुलाया नहीं जाना चाहिए था, किंतु उन्होंने कहा कि अभी हम शपथ ग्रहण में किसी प्रकार से उसको डेफर नहीं करते, होने दीजिए। कल सुबह 10:30 बजे रखा है और ये कहा है कि येदियुरप्पा जी ने जो चिट्ठी 15 मई की लिखी थी राज्यपाल को, उसको पेश की जाए।
The BJP has secured 104 seats in elections for 222 seats in Karnataka. The party missed the majority mark by 8 seats, giving the JDS and the Congress a chance to come together to form the government. The JDS and its ally BSP won 38 seats, while the Congress got 78 seats. The Karnataka governor had invited the BJP on Wednesday to form the government in the state, prompting the Congress and the JDS to move the Supreme Court. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, let's get all the updates from my colleague Akhilesh Suman, who's joining us live from the BJP office in Delhi. Akhilesh, the 3 judges of the Supreme Court will today resume hearing on the petition challenging Karnataka governor's invitation to B.S. Yediyurappa to form the government in Karnataka. So tell us what is happening at the BJP camp. How confident is the party to sail through the court test today?
It is really a testing time for BJP today because the three-judge bench has called for the later, and the three-bench judge will also see that how valid are the other members. You know that other than 104, there are 8 members that is required for the BJP's making government in Karnataka. So the whole question is that who are the 8 members that is going to be put before the court. And you cannot tell at this point of time that who are the 8 members, because BJP is keeping all the fingers crossed and also keeping all the secrets close to the heart that it will produce in the court. And on the other side, you see that the whole drama of keeping the members, MLAs in the Congress and JDS flock together is going on in Bengaluru. So where they will be kept so that BJP cannot contact them. So this tussle is going on. But indeed, it is a very crucial day for BJP because being the single largest party, it has claimed, even though it was 8 MLAs short of the majority.
Yes.
So it is really a daring job for BJP to prove today in the court that it has valid chance of forming a government and also giving stability to the government in coming years. Because the governor has given him 15 days, and 15 days is quite a considerable time, but B.S. Yediyurappa has said that we don't need 15 days, so how much time BJP can ask from the court, because court may also ask that why 15 days, why you need 15 days to prove the majority. If you have the majority, if you have the MLAs, you can prove within a day or 2 or 3. So BJP may put some plea that in how many days it wants to prove the majority. So
right.
These are going to be very interesting debate today in the court, and you know that the whole drama is also unfolding everywhere in Manipur, that
yes.
Congress is going to say that yes, we are the single largest party, give us the chance to form the government. In Goa also Congress is going to claim the same. And
yes.
in Bihar also Tejasvi Yadav, the son of Lalu Prasad Yadav, RJD, is also going to tell the same to the governor. So it will also
right.
put some pressure on the court that how it has to decide. So it is really a very political stalemate
Absolutely. A very
in the
crucial
political arena.
day
That
for
what
the
should be
BJP and also B.S. Yediyurappa, because the Supreme Court is going to take up the Congress's petition and decide on the fate of B.S. Yediyurappa. Meanwhile, the Congress and the JDS have moved its lawmakers out of Karnataka, alleging poaching attempts by the BJP. JDS and Congress reportedly flew their MLAs to Cochin and Hyderabad. Now, these MLAs were earlier staying at the Eagleton Resort in Bengaluru.
You know better than me. Because why they are going, we are not encouraging horse trading. To stop horse trading, they are living together. Supreme Court issues different. Assembly strength is different. We are not bothered about the Supreme Court judgment outcome. We are not bothered about that. Only on the floor of the house, we have to show our strength. For that, actually, we are taking care.
From Cochin and Hyderabad, both.
Some of your MLAs are going to Cochin.
Cochin, some of are going to Hyderabad.
What are the numbers, sir?
Both all Congress and the JDS both.
Meanwhile, amid a power struggle in Karnataka, Congress President Rahul Gandhi spoke with the JDS Chief H.D. Devegowda after the entire incidents and he reportedly discussed the prevailing political situation in the state. Meanwhile, the BJP has also alleged that the Congress has forged the signatures of many of its legislators while submitting the party's list of MLAs to the Karnataka governor. Cabinet Minister Prakash Javadekar said that it was difficult to understand how the party could collect the signatures of all the MLAs even before they arrived in Bengaluru and attended the Congress Legislature Party meeting. Defending Governor Vajubhai Vala's action in inviting the BJP to form the government, Javadekar said that the governor had only followed the rule book as there was no pre-poll alliance in Karnataka. He also said that the Congress and the JDS were bitter foes before the polls, where the party's leaders had called each other's names. And the Karnataka governor's decision to invite the BJP to form the government on the ground that it emerged as the single largest party is having a ripple effect now because the Congress in Goa and Manipur and the RJD in Bihar have decided to approach the state governors and stake claim for government formation. Both the parties emerged as the single largest parties in their respective state elections. The state units of Congress in Goa and Manipur have sought appointments from their respective state governors. They say that there cannot be different rules for different states. After the Goa Assembly elections held in March last year, the Congress had 16 seats in the 40-member Assembly, and with 14 seats, the BJP formed the government in alliance with the Goa Forward Party and the MGP, both of which had secured 3 seats each. 3 independents also went with the BJP. And in Manipur, the Congress had won 28 seats in the 60-member House, while the BJP had got 21. The BJP, however, formed the government in the state for the first time by joining hands with the regional parties there. In Bihar, the RJD emerged as the single largest party with 80 seats. At present, the JDU-BJP alliance together with other allies have 131 seats in the 243 Assembly.
या तो प्रजातंत्र में सबसे बड़े राजनीतिक दल को अगर निमंत्रण दिया जाना चाहिए, भाजपा ये कहती है, तो फिर भाजपा को गोवा, मणिपुर और मेघालय में अपने मुख्यमंत्रियों से इस्तीफा दिलाना चाहिए और कांग्रेस सबसे बड़ा राजनीतिक दल था, हमें मौका दिया जाना चाहिए। और अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी और बाद में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो कहा कि पोस्ट पोल कोएलिशन में भी अगर 2 राजनीतिक दलों के पास क्लियर मेजॉरिटी है तो गवर्नर के पास कोई अधिकार नहीं कि वो उनको निमंत्रण ना दे और वो सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी को निमंत्रण दे।
हमारी मांगे हम गवर्नर के सामने रखेंगे कि भाई हमारी जो है हमें सरकार फॉर्म करने का मौका दिया जाए, हमारे गोवा को जो है कांग्रेस का सीएम दिया जाए बहुत जल्द।
Since ours in the last assembly election, ours is the single largest party. So since in the Karnataka, to the single largest party, that is BJP, they have given the chance for formation of government. Why not for us also?
कर्नाटका में सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी को न्योता मिला वो सही है, या बिहार में जिस तरह से पोस्ट पोल अलायंस जो बना, जो जनादेश का अपमान हुआ, वो सही था? अगर वो कर्नाटका की बात को सही मानते हैं तो यानी इसका ये मतलब है कि बिहार में वो मानते हैं कि उनसे गलती हुई है, गलत काम किया है उन्होंने, क्योंकि सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी राष्ट्रीय जनता दल है।
Meanwhile, the Congress party will observe a Save Democracy Day across the country today to protest against Karnataka Governor Vajubhai Vala's decision for inviting BJP to form the government in the state. The party will hold protests at the state capitals and district headquarters as well. All right, let's get an update. My colleague Arvind Kumar Singh is now joining us from the newsroom. Arvind, the Congress has upped the ante ahead of the hearing in the Supreme Court today because it is taking forward the crisis in Karnataka to other states as well. The party in Goa and Manipur and the RJD in Bihar are going to approach the state governors. What more can you tell us?
ऐश्वर्या, जो ये लड़ाई है ये बेसिकली कर्नाटक के बॉर्डर से बाहर निकल करके ये पूरी पॉलिटिकल लड़ाई हो गई और कांग्रेस जो है इस मौके का फ़ायदा जो है वो जो 2019 के जो चुनाव है उसको एक तरह से उसकी ये पूर्व भूमिका आप मान के चल सकते हैं, क्योंकि जिस तरह से अगर आप देख रहे होंगे तो आज जो है पूरे देश भर में धरने प्रदर्शन के साथ साथ जो अदालत पर पूरे देश भर की निगाहें लगी हुई हैं, तो ये जो भी विकल्प कांग्रेस के पास हैं वो सारे विकल्पों का वो उपयोग करना चाहती है। और सबसे ज़्यादा तो महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में क्या होता है, क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो जिस दिन मतगणना हुई है उस दिन जो है जो बीजेपी ने चिट्ठियाँ दी थी, जो चिट्ठी दी थी, और नेक्स्ट डे जो चिट्ठी दी है वो सारी बातें जो है यहाँ कोर्ट के सामने रखी जाएंगी। और अभी जो 8 सदस्यों का किस तरह से इंतजाम करती है बीजेपी, ये सारे पक्ष हैं अपनी जगह, लेकिन ये अब जो है ये सिर्फ कर्नाटक के बाहर ये लड़ाई आ गई है। जैसे कि आपने देखा कि जो अलग अलग राज्यों में जहाँ ये सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी है कांग्रेस और उसके सहयोगी, वो राज्यपालों से मिल करके और फिर दावा करने जा रहे हैं। तो बेसिकली ये तो सबको पता है कि वहाँ दोबारा सरकारें नहीं बन सकती या कोई ऐसी स्थिति नहीं आ सकती, लेकिन ये इसको एक नए राजनीतिक लड़ाई का एक रंग दिया जा रहा है। तो कुल मिलाकर के ये बहुत काफ़ी एक दिलचस्प मोड़ पर ये पूरा का पूरा मामला खड़ा है। ऐश्वर्या जी।
Right, Arvind. Thank you so much for all those updates there. So ahead of the 2019 general elections, we are seeing how political crisis in Karnataka is spilling on to other states as well. And the Congress is also going to observe the so-called Save Democracy Day across the country today. Thank you so much for all those updates there. Meanwhile, let's get to some other news now. Reacting to the developments, BJP has described the Congress's move to meet the governors of Goa and Manipur as a stunt. Let's take a listen.
ये एक्सरसाइज करने दीजिए, थोड़ा सड़क पे घूमने दीजिए, थोड़ा पसीना उसीना बहाने दीजिए। बहुत दिनों तक जो है इस सामंती सियासत को इन्होंने किया है। अब इस सामंती सियासत से बाहर निकल करके थोड़ा सड़क की सियासत करें 10, 20, 25 साल, तो कम से कम उनको समझ में आएगा कि देश के दर का सरोकार क्या है, देश की समस्याएं क्या है और देश के लोग चाहते क्या है।
ये कांग्रेस वाला फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गया है क्योंकि पूरा इंडिया में वो कांग्रेस ख़त्म हो रहा है और इसलिए वो कुछ भी एलिगेशन कर रहा है। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी गोवा में रूल कर रही है विद द हेल्प ऑफ अलायंस। तो अभी जाके रोने से क्या फ़ायदा है। तो उनको जो रो रहे हैं तो रोने दो, क्योंकि उनको अभी पता चला है कि पूरा देश में कोई भी उनको एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहा है।
वो बेकार है क्या? 38 सीटों पर जिस पार्टी ने जीत की उसका नेता मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा और 104 सीट जिसने जीता उसका नेता मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनेगा, और वो बना तो गलत है। सदन में बहुमत साबित करना है, सदन में बहुमत साबित करेंगे येदियुरप्पा जी। इनको क्यों घबराहट हो रही है? बिहार में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के साथ हम लोगों ने बहुमत साबित कर दिया है। अब उनको 8 महीने के बाद बेरोजगारी में नया तरह का काम खोज रहे हैं।
All right, and what else is happening in Bengaluru? Meanwhile, at the moment, let's get an update from Panchanan, who is joining us live from Bengaluru. Panchanan, please tell us what is happening in Bengaluru today, because all the action is obviously today is going to happen in the Supreme Court. But we understand that hours before the Supreme Court is going to take up the case, the Congress JDS combined have moved their lawmakers into the neighboring state of Telangana to ensure that its flock remains together. What more can you tell us?
Yes, Aishwarya, since 15th, there are full of development in Karnataka politics, and yesterday Yediyurappa took the oath of Chief Ministership. But after that, the whole night was full of drama because the Congress and JDS MLAs were shifted to different locations in Kochi and Hyderabad, and they were saying that they are fearing of the poaching and the horse trading before this trust vote. So the Congress and JDS both are saying that both are confirming that their MLAs are intact and they are full of strength. But they are certainly fearing also that because BJP is claiming that they have the full numbers and they will prove the majority on the floor of the House. And very interestingly, today the Supreme Court hearing is very crucial for all the political parties, especially for the BJP, because there is apprehension that Supreme Court might reduce the time limit for the trust vote. So BJP is also preparing for this aspect also. However, BJP earlier had said that they don't want 15 days, they will prove the majority before the 15 days, but the Supreme Court verdict will decide certainly a different picture for all the political parties. So all eyes are now right now at this point of time at the Supreme Court, and also the Congress and JDS has given the call of a protest statewide and also the country. So there is a full of politics going on in Karnataka, and the repercussions of it may be seen in the later stage.
Right. Thank you so much, Panchanan, for all those updates there from Bengaluru. We'll keep coming back to you. And now let's get you some other news now. India remains the world's fastest growing major economy in the United Nations, the latest survey of the global economy, with a prediction of a 7.5% for this year and 7.6% in the fiscal year 2018-19. The growth prospects have been raised due to robust private consumption, supportive fiscal policies and benefits from past reforms. The report, however, said that sustained recovery in private investment remains a crucial challenge. The UN estimate is slightly higher than the 7.4 estimate made for this year by the International Monetary Fund, but lower than the 7.8 IMF estimate for the next year. And Union Minister of State for Health Ashwini Kumar Chaubey on Thursday said that the stents used in the treatment of heart ailments would be provided free of cost to all persons below the poverty line. He also said that the prices of the stents have come down significantly now than they were used to be earlier. The Union Minister also informed that the centre had recently launched a TB-Free India campaign in a bid to eradicate the disease by 2025. And in more good news, the government has increased the maternity leave for the working women in the organised sector from the current 12 weeks to 26 weeks. It was done by passing the Maternity Benefit Amendment Bill 2016 in Parliament, and the provisions came into force from 1st of April 2017. They protect the employment of a woman and entitle her to full paid absence from work to take care for her child. It makes India third on the list of the countries with most maternity leaves after Canada and Norway, where it is 50 weeks and 44 weeks respectively. The new provisions, which are an amendment to the Maternity Benefit Act of 1961, will benefit around 18 lakh working women in the country. Here is our report.
Neha lives in Delhi. She is a teacher in a local school. She has 2 kids. 8 years back, she was in deep quandary. She had an infant son to look after and a job to do. It was impossible to do justice to both, and there was no institutional support to bail her out. The situation has now changed with the amendments in the maternity law, giving huge relief to lakhs of working women like Neha. Recently, she became a mother again. This time, luck favoured her. As per the new legal provisions, she got 6 months of paid leave from the school to take care of her infant girl. She joined back her duty after completing 6 months. As her child grows with each passing day, Neha now comfortably balances both her roles.
मैंने ये देखा कि पहले में 3 महीने के बाद मुझे अपना स्कूल ज्वाइन करना पड़ा, तो मुझे ये बहुत टेंशन रहती थी कि अब मेरा बच्चा क्या कर रहा है, उसने कुछ खाया पिया है कि नहीं, क्योंकि इस दौरान अब माँ की बहुत अच्छे से ज़रूरत होती है बच्चे को, और वो अच्छे से संभाल सकती है. लेकिन अब दूसरे में अब मुझे 6 मंथ्स का बेनिफिट मिल रहा है. एटलीस्ट मेरा बच्चा इतना होगा कि वो बॉटल फीड पे आ जाएगा और वो अपने आप को थोड़ा सा अपने आप को मैनेज करने लगेगा. तो ये 6 महीने जो हैं, ये इसमें मेरा बच्चा इस लायक हो जाएगा कि मैं उसकी इतनी देखभाल कर सकूं कि हाँ 6 महीने के बाद मुझे तसल्ली रहेगी कि वो अब अपनी देखभाल अपने थोड़ा सा उस पर आ जाएगा कि कोई और भी उसको संभाल सके.
Nuclear families are a new reality in big cities these days. Aarti and her husband are part of this growing fraternity. They live in Delhi. Aarti works in a private company. She underwent many sleepless nights during her pregnancy days, mulling over an absent support system post-childbirth. Now she's a mother. Those sleepless nights still continue, not because of previous worries, but since her newborn keeps her awake. Aarti is on paid leave. It ensured that her financial and mental stress are history.
6 month के लिए काफ़ी बेनिफिट है, बिकॉज
इसमें काफ़ी हमें जानी मिलता है बेबीज़ को, और डॉक्टर्स भी बोलते हैं 6 मंथ के लिए बेबी को अपनी दूध देने होते हैं, बट अब जब 6 मंथ का हो गया तो उनकी रूटीन भी पूरी होते हैं, उनकी काफ़ी देख सकते हैं हम दोनों ही कंपनी, बिकॉज बेबी 6 मंथ में सबको जानने लगते हैं, पहचानते हैं, तो किसी पे भी रह सकते हैं, पर 3 मंथ में नहीं होता है सर। जैसे वो अपनी मोम के अलावा कहीं और नहीं रह पाते हैं और काफ़ी कुछ हो जाता है, बीमार होते हैं बेबी काफ़ी, बट 6 मंथ काफ़ी अच्छा है।
हम एक तरीके से फाइनेंशियल अपना मतलब जो भी डिसीज़न है मेरी वाइफ ले सकती है और स्ट्रांग हो सकते हैं इससे, और काफ़ी सारे बेनिफिट है कि अभी मतलब 3 महीने में ये था कि भाई मैं अगर मेरी वाइफ जॉब स्विच छोड़ना चाह रही है तो उसमें मतलब लॉस था, लेकिन अभी जो है 6 महीने का जो मतलब है उससे बेनिफिट है कि मतलब आगे हमारा बच्चा इतना उस काबिल हो सकता है कि हम उसे किसी अपनी फैमिली मेम्बर्स को दे सकते हैं। जॉब का छोड़ने का मतलब अगर आगे से कंटिन्यू करना चाहती है तो वो आगे कंटिन्यू कर सकती है।
Maternity Benefit Amendment Bill 2016 became law after getting presidential assent in March 2017. The important takeaways of this law are: women in organized sector entitled to paid maternity leaves of 26 weeks up from 12 weeks. Maternity leave of 12 weeks to mothers adopting a child below the age of 3 months. Mandatory for every establishment with more than 50 employees to provide crèche facilities within a prescribed distance. The law applicable to all establishments employing 10 or more people. Employer can permit a woman to work from home if the nature of work assigned permits her to do so. This option can be availed of after the period of maternity leave. Medical Fraternity too has given thumbs up to this bright social initiative by the government, which promotes mother-child health and strengthens the institution of family.
हमारे देश में 90% औरतों को अनीमिया है, खून की कमी है, और डिलीवरी के बाद ये प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाती है। 3 महीने टाइम ही नहीं है कि ये रिकवरी हो सके, तो अगर आप 6 महीने का टाइम दे औरत को इससे रिकवर करने के लिए, तो वो उसकी हेल्थ पे बहुत ज़्यादा उसका पॉजिटिव इफ़ेक्ट होता है, मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा होता है। उसमें बच्चे को एक्सक्लूसिव ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग मिनिमम 4 से 6 महीने की ज़रूरत है ही, मैंडेटरी है।
Today, India is far ahead of many Western countries on the issue of paid leaves, like USA 2.6 weeks, Britain 12.2 weeks, Australia 7.6 weeks, Spain 16 weeks, France 18 weeks, Italy 25.2 weeks.
Giving relief to working mothers, Narendra Modi government has accepted the amendments in the maternity bill. Now the working mothers will get 26 weeks of paid leave during their maternity phase. This will benefit working mothers both personally and professionally. With video journalist Vijay, Anu Diwan for Rajya Sabha TV.
News from Jammu and Kashmir now, where ceasefire violations continue. At least one Jawan of the Border Security Force was killed and another injured in unprovoked firing along the India-Pakistan international border in the Arnia sector early this morning. Unprovoked shelling of mortars and heavy fire from the Pakistani side is said to have started early this morning. Another BSF Jawan was killed along the Jammu border earlier this week while he was thwarting an infiltration bid. Our top international focus now. US President Donald Trump says that the so-called Libya model for denuclearization is not being pursued with North Korea. The clarification came after a suggestion put forward by his national security advisor, John Bolton, that prompted alarm in North Korea. In 2003, Libya's leader Muammar Gaddafi agreed to give up his nuclear program, but he was later killed by Western-backed rebels years later. Donald Trump also reassured Kim Jong-un that he would remain in power if he abandons his nuclear weapons program, but he also warned Kim that North Korea could be decimated if he refuses to strike a deal with the United States. Donald Trump further said that US and North Korean officials are continuing to prepare for a scheduled diplomatic summit next month. The developments come after North Korea warned on the Wednesday that it might not attend the talks due to take place in Singapore on 12th of June. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching and have a great day ahead.